most people across the world don't really conceptualize the idea that the US is not only violating international law and the principles of the United Nations Charter globally, internationally, they are also violating the principles of the UN Charter domestically, which is something that we really need to talk about, especially in this day and age, especially after the elections that we saw. You need to understand that the US is quite literally a war zone. A war against itself. The government is at war against the people, just like they're at war against the people of the entire world. And something that highlights this a lot is the numbers of the people, the amount of people being killed on a daily basis. I mean, 117 people are murdered in the United States of America every single day on average, just by gun violence. 117 people in a population with 300 million. What's another country with a population around 300 million? Oh, it's Indonesia. How many people killed there on a daily basis in 2022? 2 people on average. 2 people on average killed every day, in comparison to 117 killed just through gun violence in the United States of America absolutely every single day. The amount of people killed in Indonesia in 2022 was 832 people, right? To reach that number of an entire year of people killed in Indonesia, you just have to live 1 week in the United States of America. 1 week, and they reached an entire year of the amount of people killed in Indonesia just through gun violence. That number is absolutely diabolical. It is a number that you will only ever see in war zones. Like absolutely every single war zone in the entire world combined. Children who are either killed or injured. This is prior to the genocide that began in Gaza. There are 27 children who are either injured or killed in every single war zone combined worldwide. In the US, do you want to give it a guess? Does anyone want to give me a number of children who are either injured or killed just through gun violence on a daily basis in the United States of America? Can anyone put down a number in there? Do you think it's gonna come close to absolutely every single war zone combined? Because it is. In the world, it's 27, all of them combined. In the US alone, it's 23. They're both in the 20s, and one of them is just through gun violence and just in the United States of America. So the government is failing to safeguard their own people. This is absolute insanity. This is not normal in any way, shape or form. And you think it's normal to hear gunshots, it's not. You think it's normal for a school to be shot up, it's not. You think it's normal for children to be killed, 23 children to be injured or killed absolutely every single day in one single country that is not technically at war. It's not normal. I mentioned that in Indonesia, it was 832 people killed in 2022. And in the US, it was 21,593. That is more than 20,000 more people who were killed just through gun violence in the United States of America. In 2023, it was more than 40,000 people killed. And talking about 2023, let's talk about police violence against the people of the United States of America, because those are not police. They are a domestic military. Because they kill more people every single day in their own country than the amount of people killed on a daily basis in Indonesia. In 2023, 1,163 people were murdered by the police. That's more than every single person killed in Indonesia combined, by around 300 people. You have a domestic military. This is domestic terrorism. Because of course it comes with an agenda. Of course it comes with an agenda. 70% of the people killed are people of colour, even though they only make up 30% of the entire population. What do you make of that? 70% of every single person killed by the police in 2023 was a person of colour. And we've seen how that happens. We've seen it on cameras. We've seen it with George Floyd. We've seen it with so many other people of colour who are instantly villainized by the police, seen as a threat even when they are not. And they are killed by this domestic military that the government uses to kill its own people. Therefore, it is at war with their own civilians. Again, another violation. Right? Not only are they failing to safeguard their population, they are also instigating and causing the deaths the murders of their own people. Right? In 2023, we are talking 70% of the people killed by the police in 2023 under Biden's administration. So don't come here thinking that Joe Biden or that the Democrats or the Republicans are two different parties. They are one and the same. They share the same policies. They just pretend that they don't. They use different words, but essentially what they do is the exact same. As you can see, absolutely every single violation that they've committed across the entire world has been under their Democratic Party and their Republican Party. It's been under both of them. And the same policies have occurred. We have seen them use the same policies no matter what side you're on. No matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, you are going to be faced with the same policies, both internationally and domestically. They are going to be acting in the same way, and that's why the entire system needs to be changed. That's why they need to be removed and sanctioned. That's why they need to be held accountable, because the amount of people being killed in the United States of America just by the police, who are literal war criminals because they are the military of the United States of America. That number is insane. Those police officers should not be tried in courts in the United States of America. They should not be tried in the Supreme Court. They should be tried in the ICC because they are committing war crimes against their own people on a daily basis. 3 people killed by the police every single day does not make any sense. And let's talk about the fact that the US has 300 million people, right? They make up, what is it, like 3% of the entire world, right? Why is it that they make up 25% of absolutely every single prisoner in the entire world? They're in the United States of America. And not only are they in prison, they are being forced into manual labor. What is that? Unpaid manual labor. Give me another word for unpaid manual labor. Anyone? It's slavery. That's what it is. It's literal slavery. So like we said multiple times, their policies have not changed. No matter what government you have, no matter what party you have, no matter what century you're in, they will be practicing the exact same policies over and over again, murdering innocent civilians in their own countries, murdering indigenous people in their own countries. You should see what they're doing to the indigenous people right now. They're still being forced into reservations. They are still going missing and being murdered with no accountability whatsoever, because they do not care about the indigenous, they do not care about the people of color, they do not care about their own civilians, they do not care about the entire world. What it's doing is they want to pump up the OCGFC, the MIC, the military industrial complex. They want to fuel money into that so they can put money in their own pockets so they can get more power. That's all it's been about. And they found out that the fastest way to make power now, the fastest way to make money now, is to take human lives, and that's what they've been doing the entire time. This is all in violation of the principles of the United Nations Charter. This is all in violation of international law, of the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination. This is all in violations of many, many, many different things that are supposed to be upheld across the entire world to keep peace and security, and that peace and security will never be upheld so long as the US is a hegemon, so long as the US is exceptional across the entire world. They don't have to do what anybody else does, and that's why we're seeing the exact same thing coming from so-called Israel, because Israel is a geopolitical project created by the West for the West. We know that Israel would not be able to do anything without the backing of the United States of America, and that's why they are doing the exact same thing as the United States of America, killing the indigenous people, saying that white is right, and sterilizing black women. The US has violated international law and the principles of the United Nations Charter more times than you can count. Just the things that we have mentioned are enough to prove that they have persistently violated the principles of the United Nations Charter, and therefore Article 6 can be invoked against them.